Welcome to another edition of False Nine here in season three. I am your host, Byron Garcia, and I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mark. How are you?
What's up, man? I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. A little bit under the weather, but here we are. A lot to get to. Um, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go on this one. We'll start with the CCC. Uh, I don't remember if we had already if we're talking about both legs or if we had
No,
already
we're
said
talking
it.
about the one here.
Okay. Well, the floor is yours, sir.
I don't want the floor. Um, you know, it, when you make something a priority, and you build something towards it, and you go all in for it, and it's your number one reason why you're playing this season for, and you crash out in in the round, the quarterfinal, the round of 16. Um, In the first round that you play in, basically, to an MLS side, a side that you've pretty much dominated the last, oh, 2 years, I would say, and you score one goal in both legs, it's an epic failure. And it starts with, I don't know, the manager, all the way down to the players. There is no sense of managerial advantage that we have. There's no tactical prowess to any game planning. There are no intricate, little adaptations in the game. There are no. I just see nothing from the managerial standpoint. That's going to be the same thing. My take on it for the whole year. I don't think Mascherano is a good manager. Never thought he was. I'm not going to get it confused with winning the MLS Cup, um, as it was a fluke miracle that somehow Suarez ends up being suspended, and that the cards are played, right into his hands, and they go on that run that win it. There was, and then the players. I mean, scoring one goal. The attack has not been what it's been promised to be. Still a lot of figuring out, not wanting someone's toes, this and that. Whether you have a striker playing out wide, whether you have a midfielder playing left winger, it just a mess. Um, and it sucks because, like I said, you prioritize the CCC. You want to be, show continental success, and you're not even going to be able to do that. And losing to the MLS, to an MLS team, you built this team to beat the other teams, the Club Americas, the Tigres, the Monterrey, all those teams, and not even to face them is a failure. Jorge Mas was writing checks he couldn't cash when he was saying, "Oh, we're gonna build this, we're gonna build that, we're gonna do this." No, man, you got to know who you have at the helm, and at the helm is Mascherano, and not a lot of people think he's the guy for the job. It is what it is. They're not gonna let him go. Um, so now everyone just turns their head, and the focus is the MLS Cup, because there's no going back. You can't say you can play what if. You can play so what, but nothing's going to change. They crashed out in the tournament that they wanted to win, that a lot of people expected them to get to the final of. So it is what it is. This season's priorities out the window, and you lace up your boots and you play for the league now.
Can I give you everything you said was right to start with?
Hmm.
Can I give you a failure at a higher level?
Go for it.
Your priority is a CCC.
Hmm.
You want this team, knowing the tournament starts early in the season. You want this team hitting on all cylinders early. You want this team to hit the ground running. Otherwise, what happened is what happens when the team hasn't even really gotten the engine going. You go on tour trying to make as much money as possible, going to 70 different countries to play 47 friendlies. Also, 300 billion people can pay you all the amount of money you want to watch Messi. What happens is the team is trying to figure itself out when it comes back. You can't tell me you were prioritizing the CCC when the number one thing you've shown you were prioritizing was your pocket. Because you can't tell me that this team is if this team how I anticipate they will be in 2 months played against Nashville for the CCC, they win. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, they travel to South America to play these South American teams and so that because it's their preseason. They're not. It's what it is. That's the preseason that they've known to come. Is it better than traveling cross country all the way to Asia and to Saudi Arabia and to go play in against the Saudi teams? Yeah, it's better to play here. Um, you know, in this side of the world, on this side of the world, but still, when they played those games, it didn't look like a team that was prepared to play for the CCC, and a team that we saw against LAFC was absolutely not a team that was ready to win or compete in the CCC. But since it was Nashville, and a lot of people, including myself, had their hopes up because our past record versus Nashville, our recent success versus Nashville, um, and all that kind of just fell flat on its face. Even in Nashville, you weren't able to get an away goal. And, here against Nashville in the return leg, you score in the 7th minute, but you're unable to get a second one. And everyone knows you have to get a second goal because away goals matter. And guess what? In Miami, lose on aggregate due to an away goal. It's a lack of, urgency from the manager itself, and a loser mentality just to kind of, I don't know, be content with how they were playing. There could have been more. There could have been more. You push them. You push them. I don't think there's any motivation from the manager. So that's what it comes down to. I Bashano couldn't motivate me to get out of bed every day.
I mean, you could tell just from the way that that preseason was played. You could tell by the way that the preseason was handled that
Yep.
they weren't taking it seriously. It's a glorified parade, and you can't tell me that you are going to prioritize the CCC and not take your preseason seriously, knowing the CCC starts so early in your year. If this was a tournament that started midway through the season, fine, whatever. You can kind of like Shaquille O'Neal used to say, "I'll play myself into shape." But when it starts at the beginning of the season, you can't go on that glorified money grab, that glorified parade, and expect results in a tournament like the CCC.
And it wasn't even it's not one of the. It's not a team that this team was built to handle. It was a team in Nashville that sure they played well in this, but they weren't unbeatable by any stretch of the game. That's a very beatable side in Nashville, especially this year too. They've got some new players, this and that, but you need to score more than one goal against the side if you want to qualify for the next round in the continental tournament.
And I touched on this earlier. You told me it wasn't a big deal. You told me it was just wait, it'll happen. I tend to believe you. I tend to think you're right. But our prized acquisition, who was brought in to make a difference, has not put his imprint on this team, and that's Berterame. He has had some contributions, but he hasn't like there's no difference between Suarez and him out there right now.
Sure, but you can say that about every person on the offense, minus Messi. There's no offensive fluidity right now for this team. I mean, just look at the New York game that we just won 3-2. Two goals were scored by defenders. Sure, Messi had plenty of chances, and he ended up scoring a free kick that was deflected in. But our attackers aren't. There's not getting it. Allende was put in on goal against Nashville, couldn't get the shot off. Bertarema has had chances.
Plenty.
Salvetti hasn't really been in front of goal.
He's the only one that I see though where you can kind of see him pushing it, pressing. You can see an
Yeah,
urgency in how he plays.
yeah, but you kind of need that from everybody. Like I said, unacceptable to score one goal in 2 legs. It's that simple. You held them to one goal and you only score one goal. I mean, and the one goal that they scored, Yannick Bright took a bad angle, and we had two players run into our goalkeeper, and the ball fell to Espinosa, and he puts it away.
The other, the other aspect or part that I touched on, and you again, you took out the fire extinguisher, hosed me down, and said, "Whoa there." But it keeps rearing its head, and I just kind of wanted your thoughts on. Dane St. Clair has been very pedestrian. Hasn't been bad. Hasn't been where you're like pulling your hair out, but he hasn't been good either. And it. I get this unsettling feeling watching him play. There's no confidence in me that he's going to make a stop when he needs to. What are your thoughts on that?
Aside from the LA game and one goal in the Orlando game, it's been shut out. Yeah, he got 2 goals in. One was a great free kick by Nico Fernandez. It was a one-on-one chance with Ojeda from New York City, and the other was a shot where he was practically almost tackled by 3 people into his goal. So he's been fine. In my after that Orlando game and that I felt he's been okay. He hasn't been man of the match worthy or anything like that, but he's made some stops, some one-on-one stops, some close down shots on excuse me, some shots on the near post and things like that.
So I'm overreacting a little bit. I like just me.
I think we're and it's not maybe not just you, but a lot of people are just have that what's the word I'm looking for? That recency bias with Rocco, and the run that he had and how good he was and how superb he was. And maybe it takes Dane a little time to get his feet wet and to really settle down and just he's playing fine out of the back. He's not really making any errors with the distribution. So he's been pretty average. And pretty average right now. It's got you 3 points away at New York, where we hadn't won since last year, and before that it was a while since we had never gotten a win or a point in New York. So you kind of just build on little games and little things, and you just work on getting back to goalkeeper of the year kind of form, and they get a week off for international break, and that game on April 4th is what I guess where those seasons going to really restart for them, and we'll see how it plays out.
Okay, before we take a deep dive into the New York City FC game, saw this swirling around. Wanted to get your thoughts. Rodrigo de Paul
Mm-hmm.
picks up a knock in training,
Mm-hmm.
and coincidentally, that
Mm-hmm.
knock allows him to, I don't know where it was, but allows him to
It was in
fly.
Argentina.
It was in Argentina?
Yeah.
Was it? I'm asking. I
Yes.
don't know where it is.
Yes.
Was
Yes.
it?
Yes. He
Okay,
picked
so
up a knock. He picked up a knee contusion in the Nashville game, and he
and then
was
he
gonna
flew
be.
to
It
his
was. It
girlfriend's
was.
birthday party. Just your thoughts
Don't.
on that.
I really don't care. This New York game, you could have fully rotated and sent the international guys onto their duty and have them healthy for their national team and have them healthy coming back. I did not. I really did not care. It didn't bother me. Um, he wasn't gonna. I can promise you, he picked up on knock in that game. He knowing that international duty was the next week, he probably was not gonna play. So guess what? Go to Argentina. Get there early. It doesn't matter. I did not find any offense to that.
I agree with you. I think that whatever. Go be with your significant other on her birthday. If you weren't gonna play, it is what it is. There's a
I mean, you
duty.
have guys in Europe on the weekend, a day after a game, going to go catch another game or going to catch a basketball game and coming back for training the next day or two. And it's things like that. Just go, let people live a little bit, bro.
Yes, no, and I agree with you. There was just such a hubbub about it on
It
online
just,
that,
yeah, it's
and I
just.
understand it where there's this professionalism. You got to be with the team and this and that, but at the same
Let me
time,
tell you, Rodrigo De Paul has been one of our better players this year to start the season.
no, I'm with you. I just think that the way it was handled by the team was very didn't do him any favors. Uh, team could have just said, "Listen, he needed a mental break. Whatever, he picked up a knock. We're giving him time to heal." But we told him to stay away. I think that would have fixed a lot. Um, there's just a lot to be desired from the franchise as a whole throughout the years in terms of communication, in terms of PR, in terms of just the way they do things. They tend to operate um, with this sense of arrogance and superiority complex to those who support them. That I find dumbfounding at times. It's not to say that they shouldn't do those things because, like you said, he might not have played anyway. But I just
Mhm.
don't think they do themselves any favors when these things happen. Just your thoughts on that?
No, they've been very they haven't been very as transparent as maybe you should be with discussing injuries and discussing other things that should could be out there, could be transparent to fans, could be transparent to the media. So it's there's just lack of transparency, lack of communication, and it always comes down to when especially when Messi doesn't play. Everyone now looks for Messi's post, and if Messi's gonna post on Instagram, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't play, and then there's nothing released and this and that. So yeah, it's been like this for 2 or 3 years now, and nothing's gonna change. Could they be better? Yes. Are they gonna change? No.
Okay, and I'm with you. I don't expect a change. I expect them to operate this way moving forward. We are this week off. We just played New York City FC. Um, Recap a little bit the game with New York. What did you see when from Inter Miami when playing that game?
Oh, it's just such a weird game. I really don't like playing in New York. The field just throws me off, even in watching it. I can't imagine playing in it.
It's at Yankee Stadium.
Um, yeah. So, no, this game, I was looking at it. I was like, oh, it's a week till international break. It's a week right after. A week right after these guys get, a couple of days after they get eliminated from the CCC. The prioritized cup and all that stuff. How are they going to respond? What's going to happen? Who's going to play? Are we going to get, what is the motivation to go out and play this game? You know, it's these are one of the harder games to win. Like for the reason I just said, you're looking for the international break for those players. You want to go into it healthy. You want to come out of it healthy, and you just want to manage it right. So David Ayala gets to start next to Yannick Bright. Salvetti plays. Allende plays up top. Kind of or on the right. Messi up top. you got Ian Frey back in the lineup, Lujan and Mikael, and then Noah Allen, and then Dane St. Clair. And there was a little bit more offensive fluidity in this game. Felt like we were really getting some shots on goal. Um, it was we took 22 shots, had possession, but there's still a lot to be desired from this team, especially going forward. It's hard to be excited about your offensive attack when two goals are from defenders. Lujan gets a recycled ball falling backwards and puts it bottom right corner. He scores his first goal. I thought he played pretty decent that game actually. Wasn't terrible. Um, probably one of his better games for Inter Miami, or probably his best game for Inter Miami, I should say. Allende really struggles in small spaces and tight spaces. His touch or his ability on the ball is very limited. It's 1-2 touch and go. If he's not beating you for pace, he's beating you with his strength. Who else? Let's see. Allen still kind of struggles a little bit going forward, but he did deliver a great ball into Mikael as he heads it home for the game winner.
But is that something that you're expecting from Noah Allen?
A ball like that, or him getting, if Sergio Reguilon is going to be out with injury, there needs to be someone on that left-hand side to go up, because we can't have Silvetti tucking in and then no overlapping run and then just have Noah Allen sit back.
Well, I just feel that, again, goes back to managing, to your coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's not his game. He's not comfortable doing that. We've known this. Shouldn't you change your tactic a bit to, kind of allow him to play his game and not have to try to do something?
But he right now has to play the center back position. I mean, the left center back. The left back position. He's not gonna play center back at the moment unless Sergio Reguilon gets fit, gets healthy, and he's able to sustain a couple games under his belt. But right now, he's gonna play left back, and it is what it is. We can't. He's not gonna sit back. We limit our attack if he's unable to really get forward and really produce something offensively. And I'm not saying he's gonna put up any numbers near Alba, near Reguilon, or anything like that, but just get forward, draw a defender, play a pass behind the lines, play a pass in between the line, things like that. Slowly implement, your offensive game. Slowly get better at it. So when we have games that you fully need to be like an attacking wingback, you can play it.
Does that speak to this coaching staff's ability or lack of ability to develop players and develop?
No, because last year he developed into a first team MLS Cup winning starting center back.
Right.
So this coaching staff can develop the talent. He has the talent. It's just, I just think he's a better center back than a left back.
Okay, I can agree with that. I do think, even though he started as a left back, I do think he is his skill set is better to be center back. But as we transition from that New York City FC game, we do have this weekend off, and the next game played will be Saturday, April 4th, against Austin FC at the new stadium. No, not new as in NEW. No, at new stadium.
New stadium.
What are your thoughts about the new stadium? Have you seen anything in regards to previews and different videos?
Yeah, they put videos. The grass was just finished laid down today.
Bermuda grass.
Huh?
Bermuda grass.
Yeah, naturally grown here.
Loxahatchee, Florida.
So excited. The stadium looks magnificent. I'm excited to get there and experience it. it'll be. I mean, for me, I guess marks the start of the season. Truly, for as I'm a season ticket holder, and with the rest of the Inter Miami fan base, and really get things going.
What do you expect from Austin FC and this team? Do you think that they come in and crash the party, or do you think that they're just here to serve as a doormat for the celebration that is that opening that new stadium?
Austin FC is coming off a 0-0 draw to LAFC, back-to-back losses. Um, sitting bottom half of the West. They do have uh, Robert Taylor. Um, eh, so Facundo Torres also plays there, excuse me, ex Orlando City guy. Ili Sanchez, another MLS kind of vet.
Messi has this ability to be a motivating factor for teams, and you're opening a new stadium.
You're going to get the best out of Austin, 100%. But they're dealing with a lot of injuries. Brandon Vasquez is out. Wolf is out. I just mentioned Donald Robbie Taylor. He's out. Jaden Nelson, the Canadian, has been in and out of injury. It's could be a trap game, could be, but I feel like if Inter Miami, this is opening up the stadium and giving the fans a good show would be probably in their best interest. You don't ever want to open up a stadium on a loss.
True. Now, this leads me directly into the derailment. Well, two of them actually. First one is I want to know your thoughts on what they are recommending, what they are incentivizing, what they have told fans to do, which was take public transportation or alternative methods to get there that is not your car. Mm-hmm. Given the fact that if you are watching us from somewhere else, this is going to be news to you. If you're watching us from Miami-Dade, Broward, you know this full well. Our public transportation system is utter trash. It is a floating dumpster fire. What are your thoughts on the team not building enough parking, knowing how terrible mass transit is in this city?
Well, I don't think it. I think they're just built. It's two parking garages, I believe. But it is in an area that's extremely flooded with traffic and everything being
next to an airport.
Next to Miami International Airport, where it's packed any time of the day. Traffic is bad any time of the day. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday. Doesn't matter if there's no school. There's going to be traffic. It's a good incentive. I think what they're stressing a lot is if you're coming from, I guess, the South Dade area, the Kendall, and lower or maybe a little west, you take the metro, Dadeland Station, and go north, which I'm probably going to do because I don't want to deal with traffic. This is them warning that the traffic is going to be terrible. They expect 25,000 people there.
How early are you leaving for that game?
The game's at 7. I'll probably leave at 4 o'clock. I'll probably leave between 3:45. Yeah, I'll probably leave at 3:45. Get to the metro station around 4. Probably gets there like at 4:40. Maybe I don't know how long it's going to take the metro to get to.
It's a weekend, so it's less it's less consistent than a weekday.
Yeah, so it puts me anywhere between 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it gives me 2 hours. Explore the stadium, see what they got, check out if they have any Northwest Club things. Maybe I can look into that for a game for myself or something like that. Meet up with some friends that are going to go. Reach out to anyone else in the Inter Miami community who's going to go. Maybe meet up, grab a drink. Just really enjoy the opening of a stadium. um, and have a good time.
So they can't be called Inter Fort Lauderdale now. They will
Nope.
officially be Inter Miami.
Hmm.
Um, the second derailment, and I want to know your thoughts on this. The biggest hubbub, I guess we can call it, just the biggest controversy that is happening um, in these last couple weeks with the World Cup less than 100 days away is the lack of inclusion from two dual nationals for the U.S. men's national team. One is Noah Kai Banks, and the other one is Nathaniel Brown. Two-part question. What do you think of their situations? And what do you think of this quote unquote recruitment of dual nationals that you're trying to bring into the fold this close to a World Cup?
It's kind of like the Noah Buck situation, the kind of English dual national with the U.S. Um, you got to play it right. You got to bring them in at the right times. You have to give them the game time. Correct. You have to really show these guys that they're going to be part of the U.S. Camp going forward. But I don't think you can bring them in right now and promise them, oh, this is because for these two, this camp right now you're preparing for the World Cup, the biggest tournament in the world, on your home soil.
People believe that they're using the World Cup as an incentive for them to not choose the other country that they are allowed to play for.
It's a recruiting pitch. It happens in every sport. Whether they take it or not, it's up to them. You know, you've got guys and you've got a federation in the U.S. that, you know, like Florian Balogun could have played for England, chose to play for the U.S. Why? But the opportunity was right. Brought him in at the right time when the U.S. was really looking for a striker, and this is what happens. He's able to find the spot. It's just such a. It's such a. I don't even know how to. It's such a great area with dual nationals. It's so close to the World Cup that if you play it wrong, it could be the end. But if you play it right, it could be the start of really transforming what U.S. soccer is.
We do have a history of losing these types of battles, though. One of the most famous ones was during a World Cup cycle in Giuseppe Rossi. Was going to be one of our strikers.
Mm-hmm.
Italy told him, "We will bring you if you choose Italy. We'll bring you into the World Cup." They brought him into the World Cup, I guess, prep work, and then left him off the
Mm-hmm.
squad. Um, so he was never able to fulfill his potential. But guys that we have won the battle for, like you said, Balogun, like we've
Yeah.
won the battle for, just throw some names, Fabian Johnson, all these guys that were eligible to play for other countries, and they come in with such hype. Everyone expects them to be the savior. Um, and soccer should support a sport where, unless you're Messi or CR7, you're not really going to save. You know.
See, like Noah Kai is between Germany and the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And who was the other one you said?
Um. Oh my, Nathaniel Brown. He's another left back that they
Yeah,
make.
he's a German. Yeah, yeah. He plays for Frankfurt.
Yes, he is also a German national. That, um, and I heard Alexi Lala say, "Okay, if you don't pick the U.S., which is fine, is Germany even going to take a look at you? Are you at that? Are you at that level?" Or I feel like Giuseppe Rossi is such a cautionary tale. Whereas, as much as we think U.S. soccer has evolved, we're not we're not at the level of Germany. We're not at the level of Brazil. Can we compete with them? Yeah, on any given night, but we're not there yet. And these guys, if they don't come into the U.S., there's a chance they get left out of the national team picture
Yeah,
altogether.
going forward. That's why
Right.
it. Like, is Noah Kai gonna accept another? Is he gonna accept the call up if he gets another chance? I don't know.
My guess is yes,
But do they?
but
Could you think they call him after declining?
well, he hasn't declined. He says
Kind of
he's
put it off.
he hasn't made a decision yet. But just your thoughts on this continued pursuit of dual nationals.
You, if you there's if there's some of the best players and they're dual nationals, you got to go get them. You got to go get them. You know how many dual nationals have been world class players in the past? Mesut Ozil is one of them. Turkish German. Uh, who else? Diego Costa, Brazilian Spaniard.
Well,
Who else?
Germany famously had two dual nationals in their most recent success that were German Polish, that were both born in Poland, were eligible for Poland, and both chose
And
Germany.
you have a
One of
lot
them
of these
actually is the leader in World
these
Cup goals.
these French Senegalese, these French Cameroonians, these
Well,
French,
Africa's big with France, yes.
yeah. So and some of the best players, are dual nationalists. You have to go get them.
And England does that a lot too with any talent
England
coming from
does that.
Jamaica.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay,
So
okay. Well, we will see you what next week, or are we taking that week off as well?
let's see. We don't play this weekend.
We don't.
Um, no, we'll pick back up after the week after
The new
the
stadium,
April
the
4th
game.
game. Yeah, exactly. So the 4th is a Saturday. The 5th, the sixth,
So we'll
the
pick up
8th,
on the 8th.
April 8th, April 8th.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Kind of a short show. We were able to bang through everything we wanted to talk about. Good luck to Inter Miami on their stadium opening. We wish them well. We're hoping for 3 more points. And we will see you guys April 8th to talk about that game. Anything else before we go?
Deuces. Feel better.
All
I know
right.
you're
Thank you,
sick.
sir. Appreciate it. Everyone have a great evening.